Welcome back, ladies and gents, to our live coverage here on the B stream of DreamHack Masters Malmö. As ever, I am Vince, joined by Dust, and we have two new teams to get ourselves wetting the appetite a little bit here, Dust. It's Vitality with a newly recruited Shox and Tyloo, who have had their own issues lately, let's say. They've definitely not been firing all cylinders.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a weird one to me because coming into it, Vitality obviously made the change with Shox. I mean, that's kind of the big one that we're looking at coming into this. Kind of a weird knee-jerk reaction, it felt like to me, because outside of kind of a disappointing finish at the Major, they lost to Avangard in the quarterfinals. They're actually looking really good. They had the top four at Chicago, only losing to Liquid, the best team in the world. They had the second place finish at Cologne, where they actually beat Astralis in the best of three even, and again, only kind of coming bridesmaid to Team Liquid. They had that first place finish at the ECS finals. So it looked like they were, a top four team in the world. They were looking on track to still be kind of considered elite level status. And then they make a big roster change. And then for Tyloo, they're still doing pretty well within kind of their region. I mean, they did just lose that Starlighter qualifier in kind of a weird way to 5-power. But other than that, they've been, qualifying for all the big tournaments through the Asian region. But once they've gotten to the big dance, they haven't done anything. Like, they basically bombed out of the Major, didn't win a single map. Same with the EPL finals, just a couple of months ago. And so it seems like once they get to this stage, they struggle to really do anything of value. So it's set up for Vitality to be the heavy favorite, but obviously with the roster change, it kind of makes things a little bit more complicated. But even Tyloo's going through their own weird roster transition because they benched a player, brought in another one, had him for a couple of weeks, and then got rid of him and brought Attacker back. So they're kind of in a weird place as well.
Yeah, this really is the conundrum of the DreamHack Masters Malmö in a nutshell. There's so many ebbs and flows between rosters and teams, and it's kind of hard to know exactly what to expect. What we do know, though, with Tyloo and best of ones definitely have upset potential. There's no two ways about it, even with their current issues. And Vitality have obviously Shox that's coming in, but it always seems like a game of musical chairs to me, the French scene. It's like you're always looking for that next potential switch, and it seems like the same players kind of like do loops and join with different players and play it together, and then they fall out and they go back together again. So I really don't know what to expect from this Vitality roster, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, me neither. We are on Inferno, though, which is a map that they were very, very strong on. Had a little bit of a winning streak, 16-9 overall record with kind of the core four of this lineup. So definitely a map that they should feel very confident on. I'm curious to see how the roles will shake up on this map, considering the roster change. I think they did kind of imply that Shox would just be a direct replacement for MBK as far as positions go, but we'll just have to keep an eye on that. But either way, we are live into it now. Pistol round is underway. It will be Vitality starting on that CT side. 3 players towards B to kick things off, but Tyloo, woo, Apex. Hello.
Well, goodbye, Summer. Just got his head caved in. Insta headshot delivered so quickly. Tyloo going to try and bounce back and counteract with a waterfall, potentially. Bentet's the first to go out. The current of terrorists now landing on pit, but they have met the dam in the form of Alex and Shox, both putting in USP headshots. And now somebody, last man standing, still stuck in mid, doesn't have control of the bomb either. So that's going to allow all of Vitality to just spill all over the A site. It's in a horrible spot too. He's going to have to come out into the open. As far as he's aware, could be a player balcony, pit, graveyard. There's so many angles, but they're going to give him that first kill for free. But ZywOo will not allow him to double up. So Vitality, comfortable pistol round.
Yeah, I mean, it started out with a bang with Apex finding that juicy one-tap down banana. Was obviously from the get-go a kind of a focus on apartments there from Tyloo. Quickly dealt with, though, like you said, that crossfire, particularly Alex, kind of on that moto position. Big plays there from him. Tyloo will, of course, be taking a full save. And a knife in the back to Freeman to kick things off. It's always a nice way to kick things off.
Certainly never ideal. Puts him in that headshot range, I guess.
Yeah. Not long for this world anyway, obviously, on just a Glock round, but...
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Yeah, this is just expendable round territory right now. If you can get any kills, it's a nice bonus, but ultimately, it should be a bloodbath. Should be an absolute frenzy of kills. Bentet's going to peek in slowly. Apex takes his head clean off. It's very nicely done from Vitality. They have beat down Tyloo, but here comes some rifle.
Yeah, here is where Tyloo can actually maybe try to start piecing something together. A couple of MAC-10s, a couple of AK-47s. Looking to see what they can come up with. Kind of curious to see what the CT setup here is going to be for Vitality. MBK was kind of playing A last spotted with RPK, but he had played B in the past. Here they do have Shox and Apex playing B together instead of Apex and Alex, which is kind of what they were doing most recently before the roster change. So a little bit of a change up there on the CT positions, at least for this round. Might be a little bit different just due to the SMGs. It could change, obviously, as we get into gun rounds.
Tyloo have a very aggressive somebody who's already pushed all the way up Banana by himself, realizing there's no presence shown from the Frenchman. He needs to back away as some grenades meet him, and I'll flash in to take the initiative with the MP9, but Tyloo has scampered away.
Yeah, this aggressive apartment setup here from Vitality, you know, really kind of using these SMGs as close range as they can. This could be detrimental to Attacker and company trying to get this apartment's control if they want to go that route. But if they go up mid and kind of bypass it, it could be quite good for them. It's really just kind of Apex holding the archway.
Ooh, Zywoo nearly gets a double kill. He does finally get it. Last tick, I was about to say. Attacker was so low, it had been dinked up from the MP9. So lots of money in the back pocket for Zywoo with his AWP. He's going to want to pick up as soon as possible. Meanwhile, though, Tyloo still have 45 seconds. They took all that early initiation. And so, therefore, still plenty of time at their disposal. But they're going to have to move together. They are a player behind.
They slowed down enough to force kind of Apex and Shox to respect B as a threat. But now Shox has rotated back in the spawn. Still on Alex and RPK, though, for now. And they've lost one already.
Did Alex just flash himself?
I'm not
sure. It looked like he flashed short and walked into it, and he was fully blinded coming around the corner. It's kind of awkward, but Tyloo put the bullets where it counts. They're going to have a post plant, 3v2. Vitality have the task of saving their guns. It is a very rough site to retake, especially at a player disadvantage. They're going to have money to play with in the next round, so they may as well save these two guns and come back stronger. However, Tyloo, though, going to get some early aggression in and break the deadlock on their T side.
Kind of weird that Vitality lost that round, especially considering how it started. I mean, Zywoo had that double kill basically on the fire and the MP9 spray. They did a pretty good job dealing with that initial mid attack. They had a 4-on-3 situation. The one thing that Tyloo did do really well, again, was kind of delay and forced him to still kind of keep Shox and Apex towards B, respect that as a threat. And then it really just came down to isolating those two players towards pit and being able to win that. Didn't lose a single player, actually, on that exchange up lane. And that really kind of won them the round because at that point, Vitality just had to save their two remaining weapons. So Tyloo do kind of sneak one in there despite a rough opening to the round. Everyone on rifles coming into this one. Good utility across the board as well. We continue to see Shox and Apex playing together at B, so it seems to be kind of the firm positions.
That's a pretty deadly duo as well, Apex and Shox, in terms of talent and skill. Plenty of Molotovs being tossed in off Banana just to take some more control. It's pretty similar to what we saw last round, though, Dust. I mean, Vitality not going for it themselves.
Tyloo kind of quickly engaging on the B bomb side here. They have a smoke on CT spawn. They even have kind of somebody in a little bit of a forward position. Ben 10 actually takes the duel with Apex and wins it. That's going to prompt them to just go ahead and push into this. The bomb's still left on T stairs, but they're getting so much. Look at this from somebody in CT spawn. Is caught, though.
Yeah, Shox, that's a huge kill. As you say, he was starting to become a thorn in the backside. The bomb's still on the T-step. So Tyloo, yeah, they got all of that early engage and aggression up in the face of Vitality, but they're having to pull back. They still do have 3 smokes, though, Dust. Like, they still have plenty of utility to execute on A if they so choose. Yeah, luckily, though, Shox has plenty of utility as well, so this allows Zywoo to kind of freely be that third man at A and just let Shox kind of hold B alone. And they're in the right place because it is going to be an A attack here from Tyloo. Oh, the smoke's not quite on point. Zywoo can see a small gap in it, and that's the bomb that gets dropped alongside with him. So that's some vital information. They do still have time to rotate to B, so Vitality have to keep Shox over here just to make sure that's not the case. Molotov has gone down, but meanwhile, RPK is going to be called upon. He's playing on a very forward position next to the hay bales. He spots Attacker through the gap of the hay bales. The cart itself does a bit of damage to Freeman, and this should be a formality at this point. Vitality cruised to a 3-1 lead. Yeah, just that gap in the smoke was so huge. It gave Zywoo a kill and information. RPK also catching a play with a nade in his hand over towards the hay cart. Big kills allow Vitality to go up 3-1.
money in kind of a tough spot for Tyloo. They can't afford a little bit of buying here, but Summer and Bentet would be kind of the odd man out, not really being able to put too much together. So it seems like they would probably just take maybe an upgraded pistol buy here and then buy fully in the next if I had to take a guess. Good reset here from Vitality. Get one right back after losing that previous round. Technical timeout is in play, it seems, from what I'm seeing in the chat.
Indeed. I did have a connection error for a few moments there, so I'm not sure if there's some kind of networking problem. That's pure speculation, of course. But we are still in at the timeout. Meanwhile, I just want to highlight how awesome Apex and ZywOo's profile picture is. It's literally ZywOo's face meshed in with Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, that's what it is. I knew it was Buzz Lightyear, but I didn't realize it was ZywOo's face.
It's ZywOo's face, man, and it fits perfectly. I love it. I did tweet it out as well.
Navy for a second there is what it was.
Oh, I was laughing so hard when I first connected and saw it.
No Majors Club chat will appreciate the Davey reference there.
Yeah.
The other 80% of you will be confused why I've said that. That's fine, though.
Okay, on pause. It looks like any issues have been rectified and remedied. Let's have a look at Tyloo. Are they going to go for the purchase? As you said, I mean, there are going to be some players left out, and I think that's the main reason why we're just seeing some Deagles picked up and some armors alongside it.
So I shouldn't expect much from a round like this, obviously. Triple banana set up here early from Vitality. Putting some nades down, just making sure they're not going to be dealing with any type of B-rush. They probably know what they're up against. Good cycle of utility just kind of blocks off banana, but it's definitely going to be a full A focus here from Tyloo. All 5 players over towards mid or apartments.
Yeah, and I feel like they kind of have to go aggressive in rounds like this when you have no utility. You just have to get up in the face of the CTs and hope for the best. Somebody insta headshot finishes off Apex, but can't get his hands on the gun as Alex is there with 2 kills of his own. He's holding it down on Arch ZywOo. Gonna make sure he doesn't get spun from the backside. Bomb's also gone sprawling out, and ZywOo with another 2. He's finding himself in some pretty fine form as Vitality take a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, ZywOo, of course, kind of at the head of the race for #1 player of this year. Especially since Simple hasn't been nearly as active as ZywOo is. Vitality have played far more tournaments than Navi have, especially at the Tier 1 level. So he definitely is on pace to be maybe the #1 of 2019. I feel like in your heart it's still Simple, but when you look at the numbers and you consider how much more ZywOo's played, I feel like you kind of have to give him the slight nod so far this year, but we'll have to see how Navi does with their new lineup at this tournament.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, Guardian's back, right? And that's a pretty big name to go along the rest of the team.
New role
Meanwhile,
for Simple
though,
is kind of a big part of that.
Sure, yeah. Meanwhile, Shox has landed the grenade perfectly onto somebody who's on 19 HP. He's trying to cling on desperately to his life and isn't going to be aggressed, so he's going to be okay. And they're actually going to rotate Alex out. They're not fully respecting this potential push. He's going to trade places with ZywOo.
We've seen a lot of these kind of 4-on-4s where 2 CTs are split to each site, and how those have played out. Majority of the time have gone Vitality's way still. They're doubling up on lane right now. Attacker trying to challenge through the fire. Not going to find anything just yet. Still plenty of time, though, to go around. Vitality do settle into kind of a 3-man A. ZywOo alone. B, he does have a smoke and a couple flashes to buy time for a rotation if need be, which is likely going to be the case. As you see, Tyloo is starting to put all their focus towards Banana here in the late rounds. ZywOo still has that smoke and a flash left. He will dump his smoke.
Maybe aggressed on, though. Tyloo are going all in. They don't have time. Beautiful entry from Summer. There's a slight gap in the smoke, but there's nowhere there from the CTs to deal with it. Bomb is going to get planted, but Vitality briskly moving in for a potential retake. They're not going to be saving just yet. If this first encounter goes against them, expect to see them pull the plug, but it's going to go in their favor. Summer gets a little bit too antsy. He's been clobbered by Shox's AK, and all 3 players from Tyloo are dangerously low. Downside for Vitality, they have no high ordnance. They have no explosives to play with. It's going to be flashes and smokes. Kills are being exchanged. Bentet, the last man standing, is no longer going to be perched up. He's been slumped by Shox, and Vitality with another successful round, 5-1.
Yeah, they did a great job. That was actually a tough situation because ZywOo did not get intel fast enough to call for a rotation. The hit came so quickly after his smoke got put down He tried to get one kill and back away and hold Ruins control, but he got caught, and so that made it a tough retake, especially since Vitality, as you said, they had no nades. They had to rely just on positioning and aim, yet they work it out. RPK and Shock's really big on that retake. Well done. They're up 5-1 now. Tyloo onto kind of a halfway buy here, some upgraded pistols and such, but obviously not hamstringing themselves. They're going to be able to still get a full buy in the next round. Shocks has the second op on B now as well, something he's definitely well known for throughout the years.
That's why. Gonna hit him center mass from Freeman. It was a slow peak. Weren't any flashes really preceding the push. It was a freebie from Shock. He's able to navigate himself back to the site.
He's one of the guys that has like that classic clip. I think that's similar casted where he had like that almost an ace, I think, with an op on Banana. It's like one of the best clips we've had in CSGO's history, perhaps. So definitely a guy who feels comfortable in that role. Got the opening pick, but now here comes the push of CZs.
Apex has been flashed out. He's going to have to dart away. Shox is stuck back at the coffins, but none of Tyloo are going to force him. So this will be a bomb plant. At this point, with round loss starting to stack up, Vitality won't care about that. They want to keep as many players alive as possible. Shox is going to be a dead man. A swarm of terrorists find their way into him. CZ frag, but Alex able to come back with two of his own. Oh, they nearly lined up. Summer nearly had 2 headshots for that CZ. That would have been disgusting. But Tyloo, considering it was such a low investment, bomb plant plus 2 kills, really solid outcome.
Yeah, not bad at all, considering what they were working with there. Obviously, they would have liked to bring down a few more guns, maybe force some rebuying out of Vitality to keep their economy in check, because it is starting to get really, really bolstered right now. I mean, everyone's got a good amount of money still left in the wallet, even after getting the utility back. But here is the big test for Tyloo. They feel like they need a rifle around here soon, or this might spiral way out of control. They're going to go for that banana control here early. This time Zai was going to be opting towards banana. They had the better spawn for it, I suppose. Meanwhile, Alex pushing down to bench. Could be a big problem for Tyloo that he's gotten this deep into enemy territory.
Especially as it probably won't be anticipated. They've been playing very passively so far, Vitality, not going aggressive up banana. The only time we saw them apps is when they had MP9, so full rifles in play. Alex only good for the 1 kill, though, and that could backfire for Vitality. Now gonna have to split themselves up.
Yep, we've seen a lot of this, man. A lot of early 4-on-4s. Again, though, Vitality's retakes have been on point for the most part. They only slipped that 1 round where Tyloo had a good lane attack. That was quite some time ago, though, now. For Tyloo, they will still keep top banana presence with somebody who's been kind of the main man playing this position. Bintet will kind of be the reinforcement as he does put a smoke on CT spawn, but it's just a fake. It's trying to cause 2 to stay on B so they can get a 3-on-2 on the A bomb site, which is not really going to be the case. I was still sitting in CT spawn.
Time is beginning to dwindle as well. Just under 40 seconds. They're going to be slowly moving their way in through app. Shox and RPK both on the short side and pits, and no one's watching Arch for the time being.
Cyber rotated as well to B.
The first kill goes to Shox on this encounter. What? There's the no scope, and meanwhile RPK has his back covered. Exquisite work by Vitality.
Absolutely amazing. They got caught as well. I thought they were going to be in some trouble since Zywo did kind of have to respect the B bomb site. It forced Shox and RPK to have to hold a big apartments explosion, especially with Shox up close with AWP, gets the op kill at boiler, then flicks for the no scope. That's what they hope to accomplish by bringing Shox onto this team, was increase the skill ceiling, not just rely on Zywo, have a bit more firepower, and he's certainly being up to the task here thus far on Inferno. 7-1 lead. Tyloo obviously towards that max loss bonus, now able to get still full buys going, but they are running out of rounds, Vince.
I mean, it's just obscene. That was a 2v4, and neither of them died. That's unbelievable.
That is pretty wild, isn't it?
Well, Tyloo, they've just got to shake off the cobwebs. Because as you said at the start of the last round, it's getting into dangerous territory now that they need to try and bring Vitality back, leash them to a degree. Looks like they're going to go back to a bit of aggression. Flashes out, smokes being deployed, but it's Alex. Again, it's Vitality getting the first kill. Molotov and flash down. RPK's going to get a double barbecue. And as Tyloo are burning to a crisp, and Vitality again. Clear, cut, concise. 8-1.
This is getting absolutely disgusting, Vince. Like, not only are Vitality winning all these rounds in a row, but they're also doing so with ease, it feels like. Even in man disadvantage situations, I mean, they survived with all 5 that round. The round before, they survived with 4. So their money is just building up to obscene levels. Meanwhile, Tyloo have to take just a pistol buy this round, which means Vitality have an even better chance at a dominant round and building up even more money going forward. I mean, this is getting wild, man. It's not looking good at all for Tyloo to even make this a competitive scoreline, much less a round victory.
Yeah, we're getting into that territory where getting bomb plants and kills is no longer good enough. And they need to get rounds. Like, that is the main currency they're looking for. So, yeah, it is getting just completely out of control now.
Do see that the majority of Tyloo are just, again, looking to get top banana control with that pop flash. Shox was floor with the AWP, but able to get away just fine. Actually resets for another pick. Might get caught transitioning to the site, but no. Gets away, gets the smoke down, gets into the back of the site. Obviously still has Apex there as well at Coffins with the AK-47, so they can put up a good site defense here.
Last time they had pistols, they went aggressive on B. There's just the one player against them. This time there's two, and Alex is their second. Then Tep with a crisp one dig, and Tyloo, they're turning this around somehow. The bomb, last seen on the B site. Oh, Attacker, he was getting greedy for weapons. Shox, though, one-on-one against Summer, who now has an AK-47 at his disposal. Can Shox go big again? Yes, of course he can, as Summer runs straight into him and gets splattered by the AWP.
I mean, a lot of credit's got to go to Alex there. He actually read kind of the situation really well, rotated to be that third man at B for that initial exchange, and they all were able to get the kills, had the man advantage. There was kind of a wild play up lane that maybe backstab through that B bomb site, but as you noted, as he tried to pick up the guns, I would basically gets a free kill with the P250 from Moto. And now it's 9-1. Tyloo able to get the full buyback. This time, Shox is feeling himself. He wants to go for something really aggressive. He does get punished. It's all on Apex now. Trying to see if he can grab that op back. He does. He's staying around as well, and he might find something. Didn't take the shot.
Oh, he's missed. And that aggressive position has cost him dearly, and potentially Vitality a second round. Alex doesn't have a huge amount of funds, actually. 3.7k, as opposed to the rest of his team that are looking pretty good right about now. But he's going to take the initiative and go for the play. RPK goes out aggressively and catches Summer. With his pants down, and Attacker wasn't there to deal any damage on the return. They only saw RPK. For all they know, there's two players stacked, but it's one-dimensional. They're running out one by one. Alex is going to get that free frag. Meanwhile, RPK's making a move through the CT side. He's been caught out in position, though, and now BenTech goes in for more. This is the kind of position where ZywOo really should be thinking about saving. Yes, he's got a ton of money, but the CT side can be so fickle at times with their finances. He's going for it, though. They're feeling so confident. They're feeling like they can pull off anything at this stage in the game. Attacker going to be mollied out into the open, but I think the smoke was just a little bit too prevalent for ZywOo to spot him on the cross. M4, not going to happen. Tyloo do double up, get a second round on the board.
That was one of those rounds where I felt like Vitality were just trying to see how much they could actually get away with. I mean, Shox goes for a really aggressive op pick. Apex, for some reason, hangs around at top banana rather than falling back into the site and just trying to buy time and just kind of playing the odds and gets caught. And from there, Tyloo just kind of spiraled that into a round victory, but they still have many more rounds to go before they can make this game competitive.
Yeah, it was definitely a strange one from Apex, because even if he does land a shot there, he must know there's going to be 2 or 3 players pushing him down. Especially it's like a one-and-done sort of spot.
Yeah, especially with that Molotov being put down to stop him from escaping to the site. And he kind of missed his window to get out of there. Again, they're playing this 3B setup, and they're not letting up on it. They're continuing to stay forward and aggress. Shox takes a lot of heat. Apex stranded.
And will be checked. It's an angle that everyone's going to look for, especially when you saw that second player playing aggro. Alex has also been dinked around the corner. 2 players on B, both the walking wounded. Shox to toss out the smoke to try and stop the push, and it's successful. No, Tyloo, someone needs to go get that bomb. The bomb is still out in the open now. There we go. Freeman's going to take it. He's got 20 HP. One straight bullet through that smoke is his life.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so many players bleeding out for Vitality as well, particularly on this B bomb side. They're actually rotating off of it. They're gambling. They're going to send all 4 players to A, and Vince, they're going to be right. That is where the bomb is headed. Oh my goodness.
This read from Vitality is so monumental, and they are biting on this hard. They're throwing what remains of their utility, or at least one smoke. They still have something to play with now that ZywOo's gone for the peak. That's the bomb down, 30 seconds. Somebody realizing, okay, maybe B side is open for business. Maybe there is a way back in, but Tyloo are taking their sweet time. They're waiting for Vitality to push, and that's exactly what ZywOo has done. Now, do they realize there's still two players with shots very close? RPK caught, not for the first time, with a grenade out, and it puts Alex in such a horrible spot. Whoa. And Tyloo gonna get the round going their way, but my goodness, Dust, that was on a razor's edge.
That really was. I mean, they had a triple lane set up from Vitality. I thought that was going to get brutal, but they actually just brute forced their way through a stack. So tip your hat to Tyloo. That's a great way to win. They had no proper read on the round, and they still found a way to win. So, yeah, congratulations on that, I suppose. Now maybe with the economy starting to kind of settle a bit for Vitality, they can still full buy in this next round. But if Tyloo can get that one, then Vitality would have to kind of save for last, and you're actually in position to maybe still make this a competitive half. Worth noting, Freeman still has 0 kills in this game and 12 rounds played. That is definitely not where you want to be, especially since he was kind of recruited because he was kind of this, most skilled player outside of Tyloo in kind of that region, and he has not really been up to task on this game. It's really just been the Bentet show for the most part, which is not surprising.
I mean, 0 kills and only 17 ADR. It has been a very rough game for Freeman, but look, it's not over just yet. We've seen players come back from horrible scorelines to arise on the second half, and on CP side, maybe he can do something. The question is, how many rounds will Tyloo have going through into their second half?
Look at Apex, bro. Just running down with the MP9. He doesn't care.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
Yeah.
That ain't it, Chief.
That definitely is not it. But again, I think it's just Vitality knowing how far ahead they are, knowing that they're just manhandling Tyloo the bulk of these rounds. I feel like that they just are really feeling confident. When you have SMGs, you want to kind of do aggressive plays with them or hold close angles. He went for the push and this didn't happen. And again, this sets up Tyloo kind of nicely because if they finish this round off, which they have a huge advantage to do so, Vitality wouldn't have any economy in the next round. So that's where you get the 5. And then you can kind of just play for that last round to see how close you can get. So it's kind of letting Tyloo have a slight way back into this game, I guess is the point.
Yeah, we'll say Apex, that definitely wasn't something that you could predict as a push. And I guess if he gets 2 kills, everyone calls him a genius.
Yep.
Fell quite flat, though, and it has put a lot more pressure on the rest of his team. Utility either here does 2 smokes and incendiary, but time is starting to tick away.
Still not sure where Tyloo want to go with this. I mean, they had the bomb at middle. They still had 2 towards banana, though. Again, we're seeing this split 2 to each side, 4-on-4. I can't tell you how many times we've seen this.
Oh, attack up, playing with his food, but ZywOo has answered back. In the meanwhile, he is needing RPK to go ham, but from the pit, he will be plucked out. Only with the UMP, to be fair to RPK, didn't have the firepower alongside him. And now, this is where the economy that I was talking about earlier is starting to catch up with Vitality. ZywOo has to save, and the rest of his team have nothing to play with.
Yeah, that was a situation we were kind of building towards over these last couple of rounds. It's when these aggressive plays from Vitality have been checked, their economy has been drained. And Tyloo have, again, kind of a path to get back into close contest of this match. ZywOo trying to take this op in apartments. He has gotten the first kill up close on attack with a nice no-scope to the face. There's really only one other player who might be able to put a stop to him. That is somebody who also has the AWP, though. Pulls out the pistol, pushes ZywOo, stops him right in the end, so no gun carried over for Vitality. So it will just be pistols, and a great chance for Tyloo to find a 5th round.
And this is where you go back to some of those Apex aggressive plays, right? Like giving effectively Tyloo the opening pick, staying too long with the AWP and banana. So you go back and you think, look, Vitality could have almost had this map in their back pocket, but now it's completely open. Tyloo could pick up 6 rounds. That's more than good enough on the T side.
Considering that they were down like what, 9-1, 8-1, something like that.
Yeah, 9-1 at one point. Yeah. That's 3 rounds back to back, and it's looking like it's going to be a 4th. Early casualty is Apex. Shox behind the smoke is going to use it as a sanctuary, but realizing it's about to blow away in the wind, he will take his position back on the A site. Alex is going to be joining him momentarily. RPK just looking in mid. But the chances of Vitality winning this round, somewhere between impossible and absolutely ridiculous if they can do this. That smoke could give Shox a chance and an avenue to maybe land some headshots on the cross. He's done one to Attacker. He's fell to 12 HP. Surely not Tyloo. They're being stalled again. They're waiting for these smokes to clear. They know they have time. There is another player in the form of RPK who is on the CT side of the smoke. Shox not going to deliver, and Tyloo will pick up their fifth.
Indeed, they will. It all comes down to this final round. Vitality able to buy, of course, but it's not going to be including a double AWP setup, most likely, unless Shox wants to go glass cannon. Even ZywOo has to think about it because he wouldn't be able to get utility or anything like that. But no, he goes for the AWP. Obviously, he is going to be glass cannon, though, because of it, to get a smoke grenade out as well onto it. MP9 only for Apex. Has had a bit of a rough game. He hasn't really been required so much, though. Oh, that was labor, but he got it.
Sweet Jesus, Alex. Scared me. I'm sure he scared himself as well, to be fair. Bentet up close. It's a bit of a awkward spray again. It's Shox that comes out ahead this time. Bombs also
for sure Shox would get punished there, man.
I did too. I thought Bentet had that. They still need to retrieve the bomb, but now with the kill from Freeman, who has got some kills on the board, he can go through arches. This is why Shox is so preoccupied with CT.
Ooh, that's a big shot from ZywOo. Holy cow. And they're not going to be able to push mid because of that. This is really awkward.
That looks basic because of X-Ray, but trust me, that's a lightning fast reaction shot into tunnels, and he's gone again. This time Freeman has been dealt with. The weed of arches has been killed off.
Yep.
And now Summer, encircled by CTs, may have a free run towards the B site at least.
Shox has the angle, though. It just depends on the timing. He doesn't even put down the smoke. He just tries to step into spawn. Shox takes it. It's going to be a 10-5 half to kick things off here between Vitality and Tyloo. We'll be back after a short break.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're about to kick off the second half of our second match of today from DreamHack Masters Malmö. Vitality now on the T side after claiming 10 rounds. It could have been a lot worse, Dust. They did give a few rounds away towards the end, and Tyloo have a chance if they can pick up this pistol.
It is certainly possible. They're going to be stacking a triple lane +1 towards the archway, and they're going to be right.
Whew. Attacker going to get traded out really quickly. Summer and Apex, though, are exchanging blows, and it's Apex that comes out ahead with Shox's flash getting the assist.
Okay, never mind. I thought they weren't going to check that, but Apex does, so this is pretty much ticket the round.
Bentet, I was about to say, 1v3, and his position is about to be drilled in by RPK, and Vitality got the second pistol, and it does make me worry a little bit for Tyloo's chances.
That's a brutal victory, too, because it was, a stack. They had everyone in the right position to deal with something like that. I think that flashbang would have just been killer. I didn't see it from their perspective, but it seemed like they must have been pretty blind. Also, when they tried to sneak through that smoke at top mid, it got picked up on right away. So just good awareness from Vitality. They checked the boost as well. So they basically kind of just didn't leave any stone unturned. Covered all their bases. Now they have an 11th round. Tyloo on to essentially a full save. Just a couple, maybe just one actually, P250 on Summer. Everyone else, just basic pistols.
Yeah, Freeman one of the few pros that uses the P2000, I feel like. Pretty much everyone else uses the USP. Also, it's a solid feels bad man for Bentet, by the way. He's top fragging on the server, even though his team are getting battered.
It's probably the story of his whole life, actually, for the last few years.
Pretty much, yeah. 97 ADR. The only player with more ADR is ZywOo, who, of course, has got a lot of AWP kills.
If we could airlift Bentet out of there into an international team, that would be great, I feel like, at this point. Here he's the best Polish player.
Well, can Tyloo stop the push? It's not looking good. USP's rattling through. Bentet, who else? The savior, potentially, of Tyloo. Has got one, has landed a few shots through the smoke, piercing it. But no one's left on the site, so it's going to be an easy plant at the very least of Vitality. There is no grenade for Tyloo to play with. They haven't actually gone for the plant yet, and Bentet so nearly gets the kill. Alex is there, bodyguarding his teammates. An attacker is able to get the one. Freeman gets dinked down, and Apex will finish off with a 4K in the round.
It's actually unreal how close they were to stopping the bomb plant, like multiple times throughout that round. How much damage they were doing in the planner. How like Vitality just had to hit the shots immediately on those pushes through smoke and ruins, but they did. And so now they're up 12-5. Tyloo, of course, able to get the full buy after the save. M4s across the board. Limited utility, though, and no kits, so that could affect them if they do find themselves in a retake situation at some point. But still pretty good weaponry, at least, for initial defense.
Actually trading over Bentet instantly from B, just leaving somebody by himself, and he has no grenades, by the way. We're not talking old school Inferno where you can toss in nades from the other side of the map, but they seem to have made the right decision, the right call. However, Freeman, the first player to fall. Alex going to be going round the smoke and claiming headshots. He could be in for another one, but it is actually the attacker up on the box who's now been sprayed down by Apex. Somebody, the lone B defender, is now going to try and become the aggressor of A site and retake it. Molotov greets him. He'll be pushing through this. They definitely heard him getting tanked up from the perspective of ZywOo, who is on the site. And they're going to finish it off in style. 13-5, Tyloo, no hope of a buy.
Not at all. Vitality racing towards the finish line here of Inferno. Looking real strong. Just a fast attack up lane in apartments. Blew through the defense like a wet paper bag. And now it should be an even easier time unless these CCs can do something tricky up closer on a push. They do have a couple smokes and one nade. Kind of weird they just get one HE grenade. It feels like you would get multiple and do a nade stack if you were going to do anything, or you would rather just get pop flashes to try to peek the CZ with or something, but teach their own, I suppose.
Yeah, this is the thing with Tyloo, that sometimes you do scratch your head a little bit. I know that Blair has probably lost many years of his life watching Tyloo in particular. It's definitely shaped.
Not only does he watch them, but he's like their sole supporter who's just like trying to push him through. Like, yeah, we've got a team. Nah, man, I'm sorry. There was a time like back in 2016 where Tyloo was actually like a big spoiler team. They could pull off the upsets, and they just, and even like 2017 and such, they had their times where you thought maybe they had something, but they never really lived up to being like a true contender.
An interesting full circle. I believe it was Malmö 2016 where they started to break out, right?
LG, I got the upset.
Yeah, so
3 against them.
Here we are 3 years later, and it hasn't quite been as rosy as back
it's
then.
gone downhill, and it's over.
Oh, solid plays, and also keeping just on the outskirts of the Molotov, so not burning that bad from Alex. There's going to be a smoke planted down. Alex is going to have his back teammate covered, and there's the double spray. Vitality's economy is booming. Tyloo now, last chance saloon. They've got to make this work.
Yeah, all their eggs have to be in this basket. Have to put their best foot forward. They do have a much better buy this time around, as far as utility and such goes. Looks like we're not even going to learn too much about Vitality's T-side if this ends here in this round, because I hadn't had to play too much at it. Winning that pistol up to a 4-0 start here in the half. Triple B attack here from Tyloo to open things up with a little bit of utility. Vitality are going to be able to break through for now.
I suppose that's something as an extra positive. If they get this over and done with fast, it's harder to actually go through the demo and find out what Vitality will be bringing to the table and later on in the tournament.
Interesting shots playing apartments. That was Alex's position actually a while back. I was kind of wondering what Shox would do on T-sides for this team, because he was doing a little bit of entry fragging for G2 most recently, but he's classically been known to be kind of a solo player on the edge of the map. But he has been caught this time by attacker. Alex and RPK also very low on HP and could easily be dealt with.
Well, somebody needs to be very careful. He got baited in. RPK not able to double up, and it's down to the young superstar ZywOo. Doesn't have his trademarked AWP, but does have the SG. Still has the scope and time to play with, plus the bomb and full utility. This is not completely out of the realms of possibility as 1v4s go. He can try and split up the two sites. Bentet's by himself for the time being, but Summer is coming in. He's playing an off angle up on the sandbags. The one that you typically check, and you can see the prowess of that position. He was too busy looking to his right-hand side, close to notice Bentet's position. So Tyloo lived to fight another day.
Yeah, kind of a split push there from Vitality and just getting caught on both extremities. We'll get Tyloo around. Obviously, Vitality can still buy up here. 2 SIGs and 3 AKs. Good bit of utility as well. If they were to lose this, though, they would have to take a save. That's where Tyloo could try to gain some ground, but obviously if Tyloo were to take an L, they wouldn't have the greatest economy either, and that could just be a quick finish for Vitality. So a lot hinges on this round on how long this game's going to go for. They have kept basically the combination of Apex and RPK for banana control, so they haven't changed that roll up at all. But they have been basically just stuck on holding from T stairs, thanks to this utility from Tyloo.
Super ballsy, though, from somebody. He's alone and he's playing this aggressively on Banana. Now that his smoke has been deployed, he's going to start to move back, buying up a bit of time for the rest of his team.
Yeah, we can see Vitality are staging up for an attack here up middle. They have ZywOo towards the archway. Shock still in apartments. ZywOo clearing out closet and working that smoke forward to the archway. Catches Bintet, transitioning back to his rifle from a nade, and now they have CT spawn control.
I'm going to go ahead and say this is by design. That is such a sick mind game play where he sprays the wall with knowing ZywOo's already up there. It baits them into thinking they're still in mid and that ZywOo's not close. That is such a sick play. It seems like such a simple thing. Meanwhile, Freeman, he's got himself another kill. Good to see. 30 seconds to go, and ZywOo's now going to make a move back over on Arches, catches Summer.
The timing.
As he tries to transition into Library, and now they're encircling the A site. There's not much time left. Thought it would take for Tyloo to get the one kill, but it's not going to be happening just yet. It all rests on the shoulders of Freeman. He's had a rough game so far, and his difficult game continues, Dust. If he'd got a kill there, maybe it was doable, but as it stands, Tyloo going to have to save and pull off 9 straight rounds to get us to overtime.
Yeah, they'll be able to get a decent buy next round thanks to the money that Freeman and Attacker have and that somebody is saving the Sim 4. So it won't be too bad. But all in all, they're still so far behind. We've never seen them really be able to streak too many rounds together. So they are definitely in a tough position. Great job from Vitality. As you know, just kind of a sneaky play from ZywOo up the arch side. Catches Bintet unawares, holds on to CT spawn and control for a while, catches a sick timing over towards the library, and then just rolls that into a victory with 4 kills to his name. So it is now map point for Vitality. 21 kills for ZywOo. No one really struggling here. I mean, Apex was struggling a bit on the CT side, but he's right back into his groove. So everyone putting up pretty big numbers here for the French team. Hello?
Oh, okay, so somehow my mic muted itself.
I was like, should I start casting?
I was just basically saying that Vitality are looking like they're in cruise control, but Tyloo, they have repelled the push, so maybe they're still in this for a little bit longer. Apologies, guys. I thought I was going on the microphone.
I didn't want to do that weird situation where I talked over you, even though I couldn't hear you, kind of deal. So I just kind of waited. The awkward silence just drags on for far too long. So yeah, we did basically miss that whole round, chat. We do apologize for that. That is some of the things that can happen though when you're casting remotely from home. Tech issues. There's more factors involved. Either way, though, we're into the 2-on-4 here between Shox and Alex. Still trying to see what they can come up with. They will get an even 2-on-2, their first stab at a site, at the very least, so that maybe they can still make something happen. Smokes will tell all, of course, though. Now the rotation should begin soon from Tyloo. Might not be needed, though. Summer finds the headshot in Alex.
And Shoxy going to be decapitated pretty early on, gets dinked and then finished off by Bintet. So Tyloo also maintaining 4 rifles, though. So that's good news for their bank balance as well.
Absolutely. Whenever you're trying to win this many rounds in a row, the economy matters so much more. You've got to make sure that you have your best foot forward every single round. If you're softened up too much, that gives Vitality an easier way to finish it off. Meanwhile, looking at Vitality's economy, they're definitely going to have to just take maybe a upgraded pistol buy into this round, you'd imagine. Just some deagles and such will be spread out. They actually do get a Mac 10 on Alex. Are they full forcing into this? Yes, they are, for the most part. Okay,
The
then.
classic French force.
I have to say, I'm not surprised.
Classic banter.
You have plenty of rounds to burn, so I guess you can go for one of these without too many
Sure.
repercussions.
And they haven't fully invested either. They still have some players around the $1,000 to $2,000 mark.
That's
It's
true.
really only Alex that's very low on $400.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that Molly, somebody's took so much damage. Like, these nades could finish him off. Not quite. It's Ben Tet that takes the brunt of it, but it was very close.
No hesitation here from Vitality either, it seems. Vince, they're staging up for a big apartments explosion, as well as an attack up lane, it seems. Big entry from ZywOo.
Ooh, and the Max are going in first. They're landing kills. They've got a player advantage. They're not able to retrieve those guns just yet. Shox finally gets his hands on the M4 on balcony. Another smoke designed to block off arches and library. This is isolating Summer. He's by himself, but those two headshots are so crisp. Is it going to be enough for the rest of his team, though, to make a move on the side? I'm not too sure which way this round is going to fall. It's a pendulum of Counter-Strike. Post-plant, though.
Yeah. Somebody was so far away. It's taken up so much time to get back here. They do have a kit that gives them a little bit of time. Can they work this 2-on-2 out, though? It's
really a great crossfire established either from Vitality, but they're going to use that smoke to get Shox into Graveyard. Ben Tet not looking there. He's waiting for his teammate to move up through short side. Alex gets the first kill, and you can see that Ben Tet's completely alone. Somebody hadn't even pushed short yet. So he was left out to dry, as will the rest of Tyloo, and Vitality get it done. 16-7 on Inferno.
Indeed, it was a very one-sided victory here between Vitality and Tyloo, and also a one-sided victory on the mainstream, in case you were curious. It's destroyed Fnatic 16-7, so basically a mirrored scoreline between the two streams. And yeah, a good little debut there for Shox on Vitality. Had a pretty big game, had a lot of big plays, especially that secondary op on CT side was really huge in a couple of key rounds. So obviously good to see him feeling comfortable right away, because that was really what this move was intended for. I mean, I feel like Vitality, despite their success, kind of realized that they had a big problem, which was that they were relying too much on ZywOo. They needed another star player. And if Shox can get back to classic form, he can be that for this team. Obviously, Tyloo's not the biggest opposition. We still have to wait and see what he can do it against like the elite level teams. But at least in that game, it looked good. It felt like their attacks were aggressive and decisive. They made the most out of rounds, even with limited resources. And they definitely showed you a good look in that match.
They certainly did. Tyloo, though, on the other side, did look a little bit rough, a little bit rougher on the edges for sure. I mean, Ben Tet had a phenomenal performance, as you'd expect from the man, but ultimately, it just was nowhere near good enough. And so we move through into our third game of the day, Dust. We're going to have Liquid and Optic, and I have a feeling that may be quite a bit closer than this game.
Yeah, I think it has the potential to. I mean, MSL is usually able to scout his opponents pretty well, have a pretty good game plan. There's obviously a lot of film he could have been watching for Liquid. In the best of one, you can usually get to a map that you feel pretty comfortable with. They had like at least one close map against Astralis at New York, actually. So that they're always kind of good to be not as easy of an opponent as you can be. But the thing is, the firepower difference between Liquid and Optic is ridiculously huge. Like, there really is no true star player, it feels like, right now for Optic. Meanwhile, Liquid have it in spades. So definitely could easily be one-sided just due to that. But anyway, we're going to take a short break before we get that game rolling. I think it might be maybe 20 or so minutes. Not 100% sure on that. Just kind of, we'll keep you updated as we can with the graphic on stream. Other than that, if you guys are enjoying it, just follow up, because we still have plenty more CS to go throughout today and the next couple of days between Vince and I. If you're enjoying the cast, and let us know. If you're not, also let us know, but just do it nicely, I guess. And yeah, so we're going to go do a quick break. We'll be back in a little bit, folks.